I want to talk about a brand new Lilium HDR shader to fix the black level rays that has an incredible level of precision. We're talking about 7 zeros after the comma. Okay, so let's say you have a game that has a black level rays of 0.0000001. You can fix it. Okay, so that is absolutely insane. That is surgical precision. Okay, that's like taking the HDR under the knife. Okay, a knife like this one. So it is very simple. All you have to do, link in the description, download the new Lilium shaders, download the latest update, and then of course install the latest version of Reshade so you make sure it works. And I'm going to share with you the settings for Elden Ring, for example. So here's the thing. I thought that Elden Ring native HDR was perfect, okay? Of course, in the middle of the mess that we have, we can call Elden Ring HDR perfect because it is actually very good. You know, the midtones, the overall impression of the games, the highlights, it's very good. It looks very, very good, but near black, it is raised. It is raised. You do not have zero nits, and we can fix it with this new shader. So when you fix it with this shader, the cool thing is that you do not see any difference on the mid-tone. So this only fixes the near black, but it doesn't affect the overall impression of the game. It doesn't lower the brightness for everything. So if you are not on the darkness, so right now here on this video, I am toggling on and off that shader and you don't see any difference whatsoever, okay? Which is very, very, very good. So we're only gonna fix the near black. So now here's the thing. I recorded this video in HDR to upload it to the channel with the highest quality 4K 60 HDR and my voice with the, my microphone, but I'm still figuring out the settings of this microphone. Okay, I have a $1,300 reference microphone that I don't know how to use yet. Okay, so I messed up the audio of the video and I said, okay, next time. Next time. So I'm just gonna do this video, share the settings with you in the description, share the link so you get this working, and just talk about my analysis here from Elden Ring. So it has the black level rays. We can fix it. I'm going to give you two options to fix the black level rays. One option is to fix it so it is absolutely perfect. What I mean by that is I lower the black level using this new shader until I have 0 nits, until I read here minimum CLL using this HDR analysis tool. I read 0 nits, okay? So that would be perfect. That would be, you keep all the details that you can see, that you're supposed to see. But here's the thing, that doesn't look the best in my opinion. So what I did is I like to crush a little bit more the details. And the reason is, when you are on the darkness, you know that Elden Ring, you have the character glowing, okay? And that is a creative decision, okay? And I actually like that idea because you can always see in the darkness because your character is glowing. But the problem is that you see a circular shape, like it's grayish, surrounding the character, and you see that that circular grayish shape becomes dimmer when it goes farther away and dimmer when it goes farther away. So you see like ugly circular shapes surrounding the character and the entire screen really. It's like this, then this, then this. And it looks ugly, man. I do not like that. So I created a second preset to fix that. So it's basically, here's what you can do. Try one number, so it's a single number. This shader is very simple. It's only a single number you change and that's it. So try that number that is absolutely perfect, that is just giving you 0 nits, just barely, and then try the second one. And what I recommend is the second one, because with the second setting that I created, you never see any ugliness near black. It's just perfect. You can see all the detail that you're supposed to see in your black. You're crushing just insignificant stuff. I prefer that, okay? But you have those two options you can use. So now that's my analysis when it comes to the near black. You can see it here. It is a little bit raised. So if we go to the darkness, let me see if I show the graph here. You can see on the graph here, the near black is raised, but we're talking about 0.02, is close to that. It's very, very, very small black level raise. So it is not a big deal, but if we can fix it, why not? It is better to have no black level raise. So that's the black level raise. So now my analysis of Elden Ring now with this new HDR analysis tool is that when you set, by the way, the in-game settings, I'm gonna type that in the description, but the in-game settings that I am using to get this result is the brightness in game to 4. So the default is 5, lower that to 4, okay? It looks better in my opinion. That also changes the black level floor, but if you lower that to the minimum, you still have black level raise, and that is affecting the overall brightness of the image. But in 4, that's the value that I like. And for this LG C1 800 nits HGIG, then just set the in-game slider to 800. So my analysis using this new HDR analysis tool of the Elden Ring HDR is very simple. That in-game slider doesn't actually push 800. It's like 790, but that's okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You're not gonna get any clipping with that HGIG. It would be better if it was 800, but it's okay. It is okay. You know, so if you push that to 900, then you might get a little bit of clipping, although that might be a better option to push it to 900 to make sure that you're getting as much brightness as possible on those specular highlights, which you can see on the graph that all these particle effects are pushing the maximum, the max CLL, which is very, very nice because that gives you that HDR effect. Very, very nice. So that's my analysis in terms of the peak brightness and the black level. But what about the colors? This game with the default color, which is 5, you have that color saturation slider with the in-game settings. That default colors in 5 is gonna give you colors that are 100% SDR colors. Okay, so all the colors are going to be between inside BT709. Okay, that's SDR colors. So if you want to get HDR colors, you need to push that color slider. So my recommendation before I had this tool was like just push that to 6, maybe 7. But from what I can see now, man, just max that out. Just max that out and get that color explosion, because right now here on this lava, when I max out that color slider, I get BT 2020 23%. Okay, and that's in this example, 23% BT 2020. That's one of the highest I've seen on any game. Okay, but that's still not pushing like the maximum or anything like that. So yeah, max that color slider in the game. So the in-game settings would be 4 for the brightness for this LG C1 OLEDs with HGIG 800, and then the colors, just max that out to 10, and then use this new HDR shader, this new Lilium HDR shader that is called black. Let me see what was the name of that thing. It's called Lilium HDR Black Floor Fix. Okay, so use this black floor fix shader, and then my recommended setting, my recommended number is very simple. You have to click here, enable black floor lowering, and then you have to increase this old black floor number, increase that from 0, increase that to 0. Let me take a breath because it's a long number. 0.02495110. Okay, that's the setting that I recommend. Again, 0.02495110. Okay, and select ICTCP, and the default roll-off a stopping point of 10 nits. So what that means is that after 10 nits, this shader, it's not going to affect the picture at all, which is very, very nice. So it is only affecting the first 10 nits, which is absolutely amazing. Also, what you have to do to get this working on Elden Ring is you have to type in CSP underscore HDR10 where it says CSP override. The same you have to do for the HDR analysis tool on Elden Ring and on many other games. You have to scroll down where it says CSP override and you have to type in CSP underscore HDR10. So that would be my recommendation. This is very, very good, but again, this is crushing. This is going a little bit beyond what we actually need to crush, but it is the best looking in my opinion. Also try the other value that I'm going to post in the description of the video, which is over here. Let me see if I can find it over here real quick. The second value is this one. So the second number, so this number, this setting is the one that is going to give you all the detail, and it is going to crush just exactly so you can get 0 nits, so you can get perfect black. So that number is where it says old black point. There you're going to type in 0.014280. Okay, again 0.014280. So now the problem with setting that number is that you cannot type in that number unless you just save this and then you go to the in-game file, to the ReShadePreset file, and then you type in the number there. Actually, that would be easier, because the problem is this is a slider only, and I wish Lilium changes this to be something you can type in, or maybe both. You can use a slider, but you can also type in, because it is very difficult to move this slider because it has such a high level of precision that it is very, very difficult. So what I did was to stretch the reshade. So when you stretch that, you have more fine control over the slider, so I can move it faster. Because if you just click here, you're gonna be waiting forever because it's such a huge number. We're talking about 10 million, okay? Such a gigantic number. So this is moving fast, but you're gonna be waiting a lot to get it to the point that you want, okay? So that's it. That's my analysis of Elden Ring. Very, very good HDR, but it does have the black level rays. And at this point, I would say it is very, very rare to find a game that has absolutely perfect blacks. Almost every single game has the black level floor raised a little bit. In the case of Elden Ring, what I don't think it is a terrible idea. I don't think it is a bad created choice what they did, because, for example, on my LG C1, if I use black, if I use the screen brightness setting to 48, I get perfect blacks, okay? And if I set it to 47, I get close to the crushing that I recommended you for this video, but you crush more details. It is better to use the reshade number that I share with you. It is better because you don't crush as much details. It just looks much better. But what I mean by the creators didn't mess it up big time is because, let's say that your TV or your monitor calibration is crushing a little bit, which is the case with many mini LED TVs, for example. It's crushing a little bit to prevent blooming and all that stuff. Then Elden Ring is gonna look perfect. See? So if your display is crushing a little bit, we're talking about 1 or 2 clicks, then it might look absolutely perfect in your black. But yeah, I still think it's wrong, because you shouldn't count with people's displays being crushing details to set up your HDR color grading and all that stuff. But yeah, Elden Ring is so messed up in technically. The HDR is just a highlight technically. From this game, the HDR is the best this game technically has. And then of course we have the art style in the game, which is, you know, the best game ever created in my opinion, or the second one. I prefer Sekiro, but I have to recognize that Elden Ring has no competition. Elden Ring is the best. So yeah, but it's a shame that technically the game is just trash. Okay. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Again, settings on the description, the links, so you can download Reshade, the latest version of the Lilium shaders, the settings themselves, the numbers that you have to use in-game, the numbers you have to use on Reshade are going to be in the description. I am not sharing, again, I am not sharing the Reshade.ini because the settings didn't save. Because of this issue I had with the folder, which basically the folder was marked to be read only, and it didn't save the reshades. And then I changed it and it keeps going back to read only. I don't understand why. The entire C drive, it's not only that Elden Ring folder. So I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna share this. This is what I have. I don't have the file to share. So just, it's a single number. It's very easy. Just change that number and you're ready to go. So let me know your thoughts and opinions and if you have any questions.